Good morning, crew, and anyone else tuning in. I it has come to my attention that a little girl in Scotland has been arrested for defending herself against rape. Um, is what I'm getting out of all of this. I want to be as sincere and clear about all this as possible because I take this very seriously. Um, I I hope my finger wasn't over the speaker, but maybe that didn't come out right anyway. This this little girl wielding an axe and knife in Scotland to protect her sisters, who likely had already been groped or something. Likely this invader recording her, or judging by his voice, he's an invader. I don't want to replay the clip. It's traumatic to have to defend yourself like that. I've brandished blades at people meaning business without thinking they were going to rape me. Or, close enough. It's not funny. It really pisses me off. They should have given her a Medal of Honor and she got arrested. And this cocky invader, this anti-white piece of shit recording her, is daring her to expose that she has a knife. Scotland was the name of a country I thought I could white flight to before. It still kind of looks to me like other white countries should be doing better than us, but we're increasingly having UK-like news stories in the US, where they just get the fuck away with everything, and it's we who defend ourselves who are to be held to any anti-white standard of law. It's always the anti-white standards of law. And, I respect the hell out of the girl because she clearly has a good soul to do that. She is clearly one of the exceptional souls on this earth. But, one of us very sincerely posted, that she knows what's happening to this girl. She can tell. The adults have told her she's on her own when it comes to being sexually harassed by perverted anti-white invaders. I'm paraphrasing here, but she's been taught that she was on her own. You know what I did when I was on my own? I pulled my blade. Especially if I had a little sister with me, there's no telling what I would have done right now because I'm already so pissed off. And I don't want to be all over the place or slow like I was talking about what happened to Clayton. It's horrifying. I mean Clay Weeks. I could hardly communicate to an audience at the time just the darkness and horror of it all. And it's just, I don't want to abuse the term darkness like that, but hopefully I'll be more clear and concise this time, or whatever I'm looking for. It just pissed me off. I feel like there's a lot to be said for it. This is how much. And the fact that it's really made worse by the fact that whatever they did to those girls, there was a couple of them at least, but who knows, maybe 3 or 4. I live under a rock, I first heard about this like a day or two ago. and I was dead tired. I had no time to look into it, just was scrolling and liking and reposting. Well, let me gather myself for a second. But this is how it goes in the UK. You defend yourself against a sexual predator. I mean, she's screaming, "Don't touch my sister," over and over, and she's 12, and it's just disgusting. Like, it's too bad I couldn't have been there for her, or one of us white adults with a testicle or two attached to ourselves, you know, or an ovary or two, yeah. It's too bad there were no real men in those kids' lives. And, gosh, I can hardly call the girl a kid, you know. Like, I relate, I respect. But her anti-white perverted perpetrator, these invaders with just hatred and envy toward us whites, to where what is most beautiful to us they will defile. You know, this thing and the other thing following them, they're he's like laughing at her for having been ready to defend herself, as if not as if daring her to display that she will defend herself against him and his disgusting piece of shit friend who's with him. Like, there's probably a lot more to this that I'm missing. It just pisses me off so much that before, I mean, what kind of research do you need to do on it? You know, I know what happened. I know what I saw. And that's what I try to tell people all my life, that I know what I saw, that I know what happened. And people bury their heads in the sand. I still have to contend with the dormancy of the white race and their fucking Fuentes worship. Fuck Fuentes. I don't even watch his content. Nothing he says. None of him. I just know about him. Fuck him. And anyone else abstractionizing, anyone else telling us to revolve around hatred of non-whites or the Jews, you know, instead of collectivizing as whites, instead of finding peoplehood where there otherwise won't be any, and that's why this shit happens. And, you know, there's not much we can do about it from so far away and with so little ground. All of it's been eroded by anti-whiteism. But that could have been me if I had been her age. That if I had lived where she lived, and you know, like, it's not that could have been. It was me. It was us. That's how we need to feel about it. She should have been given a Medal of Honor, and she got arrested. Like, it's like there's no point at which enough is enough for whites. And I'm not talking about the whites who actually care enough to commentate and exchange ideas and exchange peoplehood, you know, actually connect to our biospirit and feel responsible for the future of the white race. I'm not talking about those whites. I'm talking about the rest of them we're stuck with. You know, there's no point for them at which any of this is like reality to them. It's just not affecting them. They just don't have to fucking deal with it. But I've had the broken system used against me. And the how much more it's been abused against little girls and women for defending themselves is fucking disgusting. That's pretty much my take on it. I want to do something. I want to be there and involved. But right now, I feel nearly useless just talking into a camera. You know, because it's like, who's going to give a fuck that I'm pissed off? When the fuck does that ever happen? You know, like, it's not like, you know, just the thought of the stillness and the rest of the white race. And the blood is on your hands. The blood is on your hands if you won't even try. If you won't even try to help us recapture our destiny, even by the easiest means. You know, it's... a sick world, and I tried to ponder it in a healthy way this morning, but it's a sick anti-white world. It's all a product of anti-whiteism and white noir. The worst combination that always leads us here. We must go free, we must spread the lexicon and recapture our destiny. Anti-whiteism, not woke, not left. Anti-whiteism. We'll keep on saying it, and other communities will keep on pretending we don't exist. Like I'm not fucking outshined every Wednesday and Sunday. And just fine with it. Glad he does it. Jason Kuna, that is. No white guilt. Well, at least it's unquestionable this is going up. Gotta gather myself again. I'm really out of solutions other than the one that's already been working. In 2019, Donald Trump said anti-white, and the media wouldn't shut up about it. You know, 2024, we have proof that it's our community for which he's saying anti-white, and the media gets awful quiet. They don't take too long addressing him saying anti-white. I wonder why the anti-white fuck not. And I'm trying to keep it fairly professional, but what is that for me? I'm still disgusted with you. I mean, it was pretty bad that white man got the hell beat out of him, like in real time, not acting like wrestling, like the premise of a wrestling match goes. You know, you act like you're beating the fuck out of each other. And, you know, that was disgusting. The anti-white piece of shit who runs Cracker Barrel is disgusting. But I live under a rock. And it's the Clays and the girl wielding an axe and a knife that really gets me moved to talk. Really gets me moved to address our victimization, the attack on our biospirit, and how it must come to an end, and how we must bring it to an end. It's the stories like that. And I still feel like I could do some catching up. I could definitely do some catching up on it. But, why should I just be stuck with this anger? You know, let's share. And get people talking about it. That's all I know how to do. When we reclaim the minds of the West, now we know people are generally scared and will not be moved to action by their victimization. God, that fucking sucks. Especially if it's not their personal victimization. For which we can't blame ourselves. Just keep going. And yeah. Just gotta keep going. I had figured I would stop smoking, but what a trivial topic at this point. It needs conveyed. The anger needs shared. And the urgency needs known. I can stress it, but I can't stress it enough. It can't be stressed enough and said enough. I mean, look where we are. And they'll keep trying to cover our victorious tracks. The things we are making happen, the things we are making change in a more white positive direction. I noticed Darvel said anti-white narrative. I wonder which community is always saying the anti-white narrative. You know, like, I don't see what is so painful about being outshined. Jason is on fire every Wednesday and Sunday, and I'm the viewer and the commenter, and I'm just fucking fine with it. You know, I'm grateful for my place in the community. I'm grateful that I'm valued and loved by them. You know, it's so awesome, and I have to make it grow, you know, somehow. I'm sure I'm looking a little better these days. The sides of my head feel better. Like, I don't even want to get in a good mood. Well, don't want to bring y'all down, though, but, yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling fucked up. And like there's something for me to go face. You know, like there's something for me to run charging at with my sword. And what a nice sword it would be to run charge with. Oh yeah. When it's finally time There's people actually talking like that. There's people talking like. I mean, I absolutely am ready for battle, but I mean, like there's gonna be a fucking battle to face. Like, it's not this verbal sixth and seventh and fifth generation warfare type combat. And, that really sucks. That's just a bunch of LARPing. We might as well be hitting each other with foam swords in the park and, like, and handing out little pamphlets to little nothing events that, well, I'm sure that's being done by them too. Yeah. LARPers. I'm one to address the elephant in the room. Got in trouble with one of my relatives for that. Like, there's this thing going on, and it kind of kills us. It hurts our biospirit to see this going on, and I'm going to address it. Like, I don't care what feelies I hurt by calling out the J Spurgs and the non-white Spurgs and the Doomsdayers, like... Yeah, doom is upon us, but if you would combat it from the angle from which it's actually coming, if you could properly identify a victimization of a people, what it looks like, how it's pronounced. I'm like, what the hell? That second took forever. Is it still recording? Well, anyway, how it's pronounced. Making sure I don't forget where I was. It'd be like if the Jews were saying those crackers instead of those anti-Semites. That'd be a retarded move in their press, in their representation, to just start. Well, they do call us anti-white slurs, the ADL for sure. But it's... Fuck. Okay. And it shows where people's concern really is. And I hate that. Because that means there are so fewer people representing white people than the white sympathetic sphere implies. So much fewer. And that's why, we'll have 100 people show up to a live. I'm confident we might bring more people in with the shade tree gatherings and, our Twitter activism and, just the way we have good people in our community who share the truth, even as it hurts. But that's definitely my nature, and, I will wield that nature to defend, protect, and deliver my people to their destiny. Our real Western destiny. Even the thought of it can charge you up. Never forget to just remember what you're fighting for sometimes, because they will limit your imagination if you let them. Absolutely. It's under attack every damn moment, even when there is the illusion of peace. So, visions, I say. Have them, I say. uh, and, yeah, that keeps me going. I think my mind is under attack right now. Not that anybody's going to really show their ass, are they? We don't have men like that out here. The showing of mine ain't always pretty. When you know, you know. I've got a little time left in this take. I don't know if this is going to be a part 1 video or what. But, I guess the only other group I haven't addressed in our enemies is the white guilted, the people who purely are just too damn egalitarian for their own good. Philanthropaths. Yeah. But all these types are in degrees, and not all of them lost to their own subcategory within the spectrum of anti-white versus white, white sympathetic fears versus anti-white spears. Like, you know, I feel like our simply white guilted enemies are a little more forgivable. I mean, you know, when I see white erasure on them, man, I see familiar markings, you know. I used to want to get away from my race. I used to want to get away from being white. And indeed had been programmed, partly my own programming I would select for myself, to believe there is some evil nature in whites that causes us to be on lower frequencies or less connected to pure realms or ways. You know, but your soul came down as a race to experience yourself as a race. Like, I've been sharing, you know, we races are sure to go to other afterlives. You know, one that is befitting for one's own race. It only makes sense. And, you know, there is a racial growth that must be undergone by you. And, you know, we're on the path. Some of us, you know, you take up the responsibility and duty. You know, you just do. It's just, I was I was raised my own way, per se. Just, you know, just to myself. In reality, you just care about the right thing and you just act upon it. Like, there's no if or maybe, you just do. And, whether I used to would like it or not, I would have to come in time to accept that these positive attributes, these characteristics about myself that I take for granted, and that are just part of how I move in life. Like, a lot of this does have to do with being white. We undeniably introduced a whole lot of civility into the world that wouldn't be there without us. A whole lot of architecture and art and science, a whole lot. We have not only a valid biospirit, but a beautiful one. And, you know, there is a white journey, a white growth, that you can be very empowered in. And it took me a long time to get out of the programming that would tell me otherwise. Not all of it was strictly anti white, like the white man must go or the white man is the source of all of our problems, but a lot of it seemed to lean in that direction. Other races will be concerned for their own race, how their own works, and what if they get something wrong about us, that can affect a lot of minds, including my own. It did. But I saw the point to a race having solidarity in being that race. Maybe that's an unfair advantage I have, but all advantages we have are unfair, aren't they? Uh, they hate us because they ain't us. So be proud, be white, and for fuck's sake, call out anti-whiteism as anti-whiteism. Like I just want to repeat myself. Anti-whiteism, anti-whiteism, anti-whiteism. It's because it's so crucial the white race learns this term. Why should the Jews have anti-Semitic and we not anti-whiteism? And anybody who feels some kind of way about that, fuck your anti-white ass. And we will, metaphorically. Because we ain't touching that with a 20-foot pole. I love you, crew, but it's starting to feel like time for me to sign out, and I've got like 4 minutes left on here. Yeah. I wholeheartedly embrace my mission here. It's not like I just wanted a war upon myself, but since it's been waged, you've got one. Anti-whites, you wage it, you've got it. So, I hope I'm doing my part all right. That's always something I want to do. It's been brought to my attention that a lot of my focus should be on getting myself out of here. I mean, I was already aware of that, but it's easy to how do I put this? It's kind of personal, and I address it on here and to the others in the community, and I just we'll see how much I have time for when I do put more time into getting out of here. I feel like I have more time for this. I feel like I have more time to be among my people online than a lot of things that should come second to it. Uh, but I know to be effective, I need to have the most functional life I can. That that's something I'm going to have to work out, or you know, there's there's a lot of variables involved to me getting out of here that you know I just haven't made the time for. But I know that I have to, and I still intend to and plan to. But you know, I I just want to be here and do the best I can for y'all. Even even if I'm just making myself do the next thing. That'll be fine. I just must get it done. And well, maybe this will be an interesting watch for myself. Just I don't know. Don't give up. Stay with me in this. I'm certainly staying with all of you in this. I love you all. I'm gladly here for you. Feel free to message me. And, yeah. Maybe someday I could have some music to play all out too. There it goes. I'm watching the last of my seconds on here. See you around. Thank you for watching. Hails.